San Francisco. As a travel destination, it's a treat, all right. The splendor of the Golden Gate Bridge, the reclusive Alcatraz, the clang and clatter of a rollicking cable car. Evan Hunter's masterful script, The Birds, describes San Francisco as an anthill at the foot of a bridge. Of course, San Francisco is much more than that. And it's our first location in this episode of Film Trip. Fade in Union Square. Thank you for watching my movie. What were you expecting? Tippi Hedren? Really? It's just me. Ooh. This is where The Birds opens, right here. Hitchcock, like many of the guys in his time, started out his movies with one simple shot that was loaded with tons of information. And I mean, in this film, The Birds was no exception. Hey, that's just like in the movie. I mean, this is right where it happened. Tippi Hedren going across, we were cable cars. This is amazing. This has got to be where it is. Oh, thought it was for me. That was for Tippi. Hey, that's not the pet shop. There he is. Freeze it. It's a Hitchcock cameo. Hitchcock made 37 cameo appearances in his 52-film career. This one even included his own terriers, Joffrey and Stanley. By 1963, when The Birds was released, his cameos were placed early in the picture. By then, everyone was anticipating them, and he didn't want his signature moment to distract from the plot. The exterior of the pet shop was actually shot on a back lot in Hollywood. Now, Hitchcock wasn't really a big fan of, being out in public like this. He often used a concealed camera to get most of his shots because crowds would gather around. You can imagine. You see Hitchcock, you know something's going on. Unlike me out in the public, I don't really care. I like the people. People like me. How you doing? Good to see you. That's just a guy saying hi to me. Happens all the time. Now let's talk lovebirds. You remember the lovebirds, don't you? No? Well, let's review. Tippi and Mitch, Rod Taylor's character, have this flirtatious exchange in the pet shop. And later, Tippi buys Mitch 2 lovebirds and drops them off at his apartment. But Mel, from the Dick Van Dyke Show, tells Tippi that Mitch spends weekends in Bodega Bay. Tippi, with the 2 lovebirds, drives to Bodega Bay, thus inciting the shock and awe bird insurgents. So, what is it with the lovebirds? Were they good? Were they bad? Were they responsible for the uprising? I don't know, but Hitchcock loved to leave that up to you. Birds to this day still have a way of making people feel nervous, unsure. But what exactly is a lovebird? I don't know about you, but other than the film, I've never heard of one. It turns out they do exist. All right, a pet shop. That means they got birds. They got birds, they got answers. Well, welcome to the Animal Connection. And I'm standing here with, is it Joe Taylor? That's right, certified avian specialist. You have a lot of birds. How many birds you got in here?
Anywhere from 400 to 500 birds.
Now, does anybody ever come in and ask for a lovebird?
Absolutely. I would say it's probably our second or third most requested bird.
These are actual lovebirds?
These are actual lovebirds.
Now, how do you know they're in love?
These 2 are actually in love because they've produced babies for us here in the store.
Do they require, like, special mood music or anything?
No, no
okay.
Barry White, no.
No Barry White? No. I like Joe. That's pretty good, actually. All right, who is this?
His name is Castro.
Now, does he like people?
He loves people.
He loves people?
If it's okay with you, I'll let him out.
Sure.
You want to come out?
Can you train them?
You can train them not to chew on certain things. You
really?
can train them that when you're on the phone, they're not supposed to yell and scream.
You teach
Absolutely.
that to my mom?
No.
I am curious with all these birds. You think it's possible they would ever, like, band together?
No. It's impossible.
I think it's going to happen again. I saw it in a movie once. It happened.
I've seen the movie.
And?
It's impossible.
It is, I don't know. It looked real to me. By the way, what are these guys' names?
These guys are breeders 1 and 2.
Breeders 1 and 2. That way it keeps it simple and looks good on a T-shirt. All right. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. I feel like a bird expert. And do they ever stop talking?
Stop. They never stop.
All right. What? Thought I was going to get out of there with real birds? Not a chance. I had to sign a waiver just for these. This is Breeder 1 and Doug. All I know is we're going to take a trip together. Come on, guys. I know. It's not Tippy's Aston Martin, but any convertible will do the trick. Wow, I'm just like Tippy. I got the birds, the freewheeling attitude, and I'm flying north, up Highway 1 to Bodega Bay. Driving Northern California's Highway 1 is as big a rush as any suspense film. The dramatic windswept cliffs, the cold deep sea, it's exhilarating and frightening at the same time. It has got to be one of the best road trips in America. I'm somewhat surprised that so many tourists flock to Sonoma and Napa for the wine country, when just a short distance away they can experience these dramatic and surf-washed seascapes. I can see everything from up here. You know, stark environments like this is how Hitchcock pumped up the fear. Think of the prairie in North by Northwest, or the Scottish Highlands in 39 Steps. There is something terrifying about being this exposed, yet modern filmmakers continually try to use confined, claustrophobic spaces to achieve that, when in reality, open spaces can be scary too. That's what I'm trying to illustrate by this overdramatic attempt at acting. Well, I'm no Jessica Tandy. Who is? But at least I proved my point. Coming up, I go searching for Bodega Bay and find only the fog rolling in. What about the town? The schoolhouse? I've seen this movie 100 times. The town is supposed to be right here.